Welcome to another edition of the Craig Carton Show. As always, my main man, Mr. Tyrone A. Johnson, right over there. We got a great weekend of sports coming up and a lot of other stuff. As a matter of fact, in about a half hour, going to be talking to a fifth grader on the show who's a basketball phenom. We told you about him yesterday, gave you the video yesterday. So Stockton Hughley is going to join us with his mom and dad and Tyler. And we'll see what it's like being famous all of a sudden and getting a phone call from Little Wayne yesterday.
That's cool.
Yeah, very cool,
That's
right?
Cool. Yeah.
So we'll get to that a little bit later on. There is some basketball at the gate. You may have seen yesterday that Damon Jones plans to plead guilty now in the federal illegal gambling case against him and a few other players. Now, Damon's the interesting one because what Damon was accused of, which he's now going to own up to, is the fact that he was trading on quote-unquote insider information specifically about the health of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Damon Jones was one of LeBron's closest friends and had unadulterated access to the Lakers facility, went to practices, was in the locker room, and he, of course, would have known, is LeBron playing tonight? Is AD playing tonight? And he was accused of trading off that information so that gamblers could then go out there and wager on over-unders and other types of bets, and even on the Lakers, winning outright or not. And he is now going to plead guilty to that. The other guys in his case are not pleading guilty as of right now, but it shows you the concern and why there's such a concern about parlay wagers and specifically prop wagers. Damon Jones had access to inside information. Mm-hmm. Now, I want to be very clear about this. For the moment, no one is suggesting that LeBron James or Anthony Davis or anybody else with the Lakers was aware that Damon Jones was then flipping around when he left the building, picking up the phone and saying to his gambling buddies, hey, AD's out tonight. Hey, LeBron's only going to play limited minutes tonight, that type of stuff, which then those gamblers profited on. But it's a real concern and why there's going to be a future for sure where prop wagers, specifically unders, are no longer allowed.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy, and I wonder how much information they asked for him to share as part of this plea.
Good question. So he's the first and only guy thus far to change his plea from not guilty to guilty. Mm-hmm. Normally when there's a group of guys that get arrested, we've all seen this one. Usually it's more like a drug kind of case. Yeah. 50 guys get pinched or weapons case, something like that. But the first guy to strike a deal gets the best deal. Mm-hmm. The second guy might not get a deal. Now, Damon Jones might not even be a big fish here. So Damon Jones might now have access to things that the feds knew nothing about. They only know what they think they have on him, Chauncey Billups and the other guys that were named in the original suit last year. But Damon Jones might have gone to them. Clearly, he's going to plead guilty, so he's giving them information. He's a cooperating witness now for the feds. But now the question is Damon Jones telling them stuff about people that the feds had no idea about?
Right.
That's where this is going to go. So if you're a guy that at the time was close to Damon Jones or might have said to Damon Jones just off the cuff, yeah, man, my knee's killing me. If I go at all tonight, I only got about 10 minutes in me. That's all going to come out now, meaning other people, not just the guys that were arrested in the sting that caught Damon Jones, other people who have not yet been arrested are about to get arrested.
Yeah, and
I feel very firm about that.
Now, he's also the only guy who was arrested for both the cards
game,
as well. So Chauncey, allegedly, according to Gilbert Arenas, I feel comfortable saying this, he said basically Chauncey, quote, was robbing his friends.
Right, and Gilbert's in trouble now, too. He's not out of the woods either.
He's not out of the woods, but he says his was, everybody was gambling. He claims, of course he's going to say this, it was on the up and up. He got in trouble because someone snitched that the game was illegal, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
That's what Gilbert cited.
Right.
He says in the case of Chauncey had rigged games that Chauncey knew about.
Correct.
Would call up his famous and rich friends, bring them to the game and basically rob his friends.
Right.
Damon Jones was one of those friends.
Right.
What does he tell about that side as well?
Well, and let's play it out. And this is conjecture. Right. This is not me knowing the fact.
Right, real fast, before you go, just because we're clear, Chauncey's only caught for the cards. Damon Jones was for basketball and the cards.
Right, and here's the problem. When you're playing in those types of games, you most likely have some type of gambling problem. I have played in those games, like the movie Rounders. I've lived that life. I've been in those underground games. I've been in games run by the mafia. I've been in games run by the Jewish mob. I've been in games run by an African-American cartel. And I've been in games run by the Asian cartel as well. So I've lived this, sadly, and I can speak to it maybe better than most. When you go into those games, those are handshake cash games. This ain't like, here's my credit card, charge my card. If you get yourself in trouble, there's two ways out. Obviously, A, go borrow money from somebody and pay off the debt. Or B, listen, if you have any information for us that we can profit on, we can start knocking your debt down, and you'll be clean with us.
Right.
So make it up. Damon Jones, I'm making this up.
Right.
Damon Jones is in the hole for $500,000. Right? He has a terrible month playing cards with these guys, and he ain't got $500,000 liquid. All right, Damon, we're going to put you on a payment plan, but it's going to cost you $3 million when it's all said and done, unless you've got something you want to give us. And he's like, yeah, give me a week. All right, I'll give you a week, right? All right. Anthony Davis, nobody knows this, he ain't playing Saturday night. LeBron James is going to Europe. Needs a treatment. His knee's not right. I'm making this up, all right?
But he would have hypothetical access to that information.
Clearly, he has access to it.
He was in the building.
Yes, and look, LeBron's attached to it because he was LeBron's guy. LeBron got him access. No one is accusing LeBron of this.
Nobody.
Now, to be fair, though, guys involved with Clutch were also wagering on the NBA. And that's a proven fact that there were guys involved with Clutch, starting with Rich Paul, who don't even deny the fact that they were NBA basketball gamblers. Okay, now, so put that to the side for a second. So Damon Jones is in trouble financially. He finds out because he's at practice in the locker room what's going on with the Lakers or their opponent, I suppose, as well.
Yeah.
And he makes a phone call. All right, look, this is going to happen tomorrow night. You didn't get it from me. And those guys wager on the information. They win their money. Damon Jones's debt goes down, right?
Yeah.
So Damon Jones has everybody. If Damon Jones wants to avoid jail, and I'm not sure that he's going to avoid it completely, the FBI is going to say to him, you have one chance to tell us everything. And if we find that you're lying to us, then you're going to be in a lot worse spot had you not come forward at all. But there are people, I guarantee it right now, in the NBA or involved in the NBA that are sweating bullets. Damon Jones is going to guilty, change the landscape for everybody.
I can't help but think, and maybe this is the wrong attitude, I lose respect for Damon Jones, and here's why.
He's a rat.
Yeah, he's a rat. And what I mean by that is, Craig, you've been very transparent. You just mentioned the games you played in. When you know you're doing something wrong, there's a certain amount of, if you're an adult man or woman, where you take your lumps and you don't try to drag people down with you.
Correct.
And I find it repugnant that he's blatantly telling.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing.
He's scared of going to prison.
Right. And my issue with
and he's going to go to prison if he doesn't. He might go to prison anyway.
Anyway, right. But
and here's the problem for him now. When you go to prison, now again, he might go to a prison camp, so it's a little bit different, of course. They want to do what's called checking your papers. All right? And that is, we need to know what you're here for. And among that, we also want to know, did you do exactly what Damon Jones is doing? If you're a rat and you're not in a federal prison camp, you're in like a medium or a high, which is a bad place to be, you're not going to survive the week.
And again, I'm not wishing harm on him, but we are like...
Sometimes you got to eat it.
Right.
You're the one that did it.
Right.
Nobody held a gun to your head.
No one made him.
No one held a gun to my head. And look, I was given the same opportunity. Briefly, my lawyers came and said to me once, I didn't speak to the DA or the prosecutors at all. And, they also never offered me a plea. But apparently there was one time where they said to my lawyers, what information does Craig have for us? And I said, the answer is nothing. And I didn't have any information anyway, right? But the answer is nothing. You're going to get nothing from me. I put myself in this spot. Obviously, I was afraid to go to prison, but I went, did my time like a man, and came out with my head held high.
Right.
Because I didn't rat anybody out.
Right.
And I did my time. Right? And I put myself there.
And that's what we were. I don't know.
I've got self-respect in that regard.
Absolutely.
Damon Jones doesn't. But there's people sweating right now, and you know who you are. I hope it's not LeBron, though.
Stop.
I hope it's not AD.
Stop.
That wouldn't be good. Welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as well. NBA playoffs, you got the play-in games for the 8 seeds coming up tonight. And then, of course, you get the real playoffs, not the cute little play-in tournament that the Sixers were in, coming up this weekend. Your Sixers are on Sunday, right?
Sunday, 1 o'clock. I don't know
Sunday,
nothing about the play-in. Sunday, 1 o'clock.
Sunday, 1 o'clock.
They begin their upset of the Celtics as Sixers is 7.
Here's what's funny about that. Obviously, Tyrone and I are at odds because I'm a diehard Knicks fan. He's a diehard Sixers fan. And that's why I'm mocking Philadelphia for being in the cute little play-in tournament.
They got out of that.
Because they weren't good enough to make it to the regular playoffs.
They were past the play, and they were the 7th seed.
But they're in now, and they're the 7th seed, and they're playing the Boston Celtics. As you know, the Philadelphia 76ers have never beaten the Celtics in a series without Wilt Chamberlain or Dr. J on the roster, of course. Okay. And I don't think they're going to beat him again this year. But let me say this, and I'm in a very interesting position on this. I want the Sixers to win. I do. Because I've always said, when people say, I want your best at your best. No, you don't. I want to win a championship. I want to kind of do what New England did this year, although they didn't win the championship. I want the easiest possible road to a championship. Nobody ever says at the parade, hey, yeah, sure, you're a champion, but look who you beat to get there. We celebrate champions, right? And from the Knicks' perspective, you guys are playing a team that's going to give my team fits. The Celtics are a better team. They're the 2 seed, right? So if I beat Atlanta, which the Knicks are going to do,
well, we'll see.
If you guys can somehow pull off the upset, I'm a lock to go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Not at that point.
Because the Sixers ain't beating the Knicks in 7 games.
Yes, they would.
You know that, and I know that.
No. If I'm really as the Sixers going by that same path of wanting the easier road,
I'm rooting for the Sixers.
I'm rooting for the Knicks. Because the Hawks are a young, budding problem.
You are not.
If the Hawks were able to beat them, then now they're hot. They're making a run. I prefer to play the Knicks. A team that hasn't won in 50 years, I'd rather the Knicks.
No, you wouldn't.
50 years.
Look, first off, you know full well that the New York Knicks are a better team than the Hawks, and you have no chance of beating the Knicks in a 7-game series. But I think especially if Embiid comes back, you could beat the Hawks. So here's what's interesting. I'm rooting for you, but you're not rooting for me.
I am. This is the easy path for the Sixers. If you're going to go by yours, is they have to play the Celtics. It is what it is. Then you play the Knicks, and then you play the Cavaliers with James Harden, who will never win and will never get it done.
Yeah.
That's the path to the finals to play the Thunder.
For me.
For the
Sixers?
For the Sixers.
Let me give you my path to go to the finals, to play the Thunder and lose in 6 or 5 as well. Obviously, beat Atlanta. Beat Philadelphia, beat Cleveland, or Detroit. Don't matter to me.
Well, Detroit, you're not beating Detroit.
Detroit's a problem this year for us.
Beat Cleveland or Toronto. You don't care.
Yeah, but it's interesting that I'm not a Sixers fan. Obviously, I can't stand the Sixers.
You should be.
But I want Philadelphia to win. I don't think you're going to win.
7.
I don't think you're going to win.
7.
You're not winning Game 7 in Boston.
Yes, they are.
You know
Tyrese Maxey. I'm saying it right now. I already said it. Mark it down. This is all on video.
Yeah.
37 points in Game 7 for the victory in Boston.
You may want to tell us what he's going to do the first 4 games because they might get swept.
They're not getting swept.
Game 7 might not even happen.
Sunday 1 o'clock is where it begins. Sunday 1 o'clock.
Meanwhile, Saturday night the Knicks play at 6 o'clock. That's Game 1 against Atlanta.
Yep.
And then before we get to that, let me just quickly go over the games for you tonight. You've got Hornets at Magic. Yep. The Hornets are favored on the road, by the way.
Makes sense.
Against Orlando. All right. And you've got then tonight at 10 o'clock, the Steph Curry show on the road against the Phoenix Suns. That's for the right to get the 8 seed and get swept by the Thunder. And the Phoenix Suns are favored by 3.5 in that. Look, we saw what Steph Curry did in the first playing game. It was a throwback a decade ago. Damn near scored 40 points. That's really shut down Kawhi Leonard in the fourth quarter. But both of these games, kind of like, hey, do you really want to win? You know you ain't doing it, Detroit Pistons. I like watching the Pistons play. I like their brand of basketball. Obviously, the Knicks knocked them out last year. I think this is a better Pistons team than they were last year.
That was the seasoning they needed.
I also think this is a better Knicks team than they were last year.
We'll find out about the coach.
And we might find out about Mike Brown right quick if they do match up at some point in the playoffs. But I think the only legitimate dominant 1 seed is the Thunder this year. And the only team the Thunder are afraid of are the Spurs.
Yeah.
I honestly think the Cavs can knock the Detroit Pistons out. I think the Knicks can. I think the Celtics can.
I can give you the Celtics. I can give you the Knicks. I don't believe
because you're an anti-Harden guy.
No, I'm not. No. Look at James Harden's resume.
Yeah.
James Harden is not going to win anything. That's the only thing I know for sure.
Yeah.
From these playoffs. Like, could you tell me this? Could you convince me that the Spurs or Denver could make it? I can be convinced.
I can make an argument.
I can be convinced about the Pistons. I can be convinced about the Celtics and the Knicks. But the one player I know ain't winning a damn thing is James Harden.
Yeah.
I know it. I know when the game really matters.
Look, I saw him up close in Brooklyn. You saw him up close in Philadelphia.
You see
collectively, we saw him in every other
in
spot
Houston,
he was at.
everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
That's a guy who is going to play well. He's going to have some 40-point games in these playoffs.
Yeah.
And he's also going to have a big moment of game where he scores less than 10 and has 10 turnovers.
Well, I got to be honest. I'm excited. I actually hope Golden State does win tonight because getting Steph Curry, although they have no chance to beat the Thunder,
it's still better for him to be
getting Steph Curry in the first round of the playoffs is better for basketball.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think the East is wide open. As much as I'm a diehard Knicks fan, I think Detroit, Cleveland, Boston, and New York, all 4 of them, it would not shock me if any one of those 4 teams is representing the East in the NBA Finals. I think it is wide open. I do not think there's a clear-cut favorite. I know the odds like the Celtics. I think that's on reputation and reputation alone. NBA playoffs are here, and it's going to be fantastic. Whatever your next job is, the first 24 hours, it's going to be a rehashing of this. You have to suck that up. You can't avoid that. Like, I haven't been in prison in 7 years.
But people do bring it up.
And every story written about me still references the fact that I got in trouble.
Right.
So, unfortunately, you have to live with that the rest of your professional career.
The Craig Carton Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Process is closed. Let's call it out for this, right? And is it their fault? You could argue, they've been just besieged at Embiid, but it just continues, Kevin, right? As soon as he's like, don't worry about my health, and then here we are, right? I would have traded him a couple of years ago. I would have gotten ahead of the curve, Kevin.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
All these idiots out there sounding off on Tiger right now. See, it's so easy to go after a guy that's hurt. He's hurt. Whether you call it whatever you want. He's got a little bit of an issue he's going to fix. Okay? They're attacking. Attack. Why don't you all shut up and let him go do his thing? He had to leave the country to do it because of privacy? That's nauseating to me.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio. Only on SportsGrid.
At the end of the day, LeBron's going to have to put that team on his back. Can he do it? I don't know if he could do it for a 7-game series. Can he give you like 2, oh my goodness, LeBron at 31? Yeah, I think he can give you a couple of those games. But it's about the other guys that have to step up.
Pro basketball today. Only on SportsGrid.
There's a big debate here on the East Coast about the World Cup and the fact that they're kind of price gouging fans for transportation. Fans are not allowed to park in the parking lots, so mass transit's really the only way to go unless you want to park a mile or so away. Which is a weird thing. They say the reason they're not letting people park there, well, they do 2 things. They're doing VIP parking. Right. So, yes, some people can park, but I think it's $200 a day for a spot for VIP parking.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the rationale they gave was because we don't think it's safe. What's not safe about parking your car in a lot and walking into the building?
Well,
they're like, it's safety concerns. Man, 80,000 people go to Jet and Giant games every Sunday in the fall. And they do it without a problem.
No problem.
Right?
That's not even an unsafe area.
Right.
I'm saying based on crime statistics.
No. So anyway, The big debate now is, why is it costing me $100 round trip to take the train from Penn Station out to MetLife Stadium here in New York when it's a $13 trip normally? And there's a big debate. There's a big fight now between the political leadership of New Jersey, Mikey Sherrill, the new governor, and FIFA, the governing body of soccer. Back and forth, back and forth. Mikey Sherrill says, I'm not going to let you price gouge my people. We will never agree to $100. FIFA came back and said, you've never charged any other league. When the Super Bowl was at MetLife Stadium, which predates Mikey Sherrill, of course, as governor,
It was
nobody charged the NFL,
but it wasn't $100
for the trains.
But it wasn't $100
I don't know.
either.
It was a little bit more, but I don't remember how much.
It wasn't $100.
So I'm trying to figure out who gets the $100 though. I assume it's the Port Authority.
No.
But New York and New Jersey are combined. They co-own the Port Authority. Is FIFA getting the money
Well,
for transportation?
yes.
We sure
FIFA's
about
getting
that?
the money. Yes, it was. I'm looking at it from. It was signed actually in 2018.
Okay,
This
so it's
deal was
Governor
signed
Murphy.
Yeah, it was signed.
Okay,
Right.
same political party,
Same
but
party, but not her.
Right.
2018. And what was supposed to happen was it was supposed to be free transportation for all matches originally. That was in 2018.
Right.
Then they said that faced a financial strain for all the host cities. So in 2023, again, pre this governor, but the same governor of New Jersey, to make it clear, they adjusted the host agreement requiring this money to then be covered. It's supposed to be, the difference is supposed to be covered.
I just want to know
by
who
FIFA.
gets the money. But in any event, there's
Apparently, what's supposed to happen is the $12.90, which is the cost round
right.
trip.
That's the normal cost.
That's supposed to go to the Port Authority.
Okay.
But in theory, there would be more extra people than on a normal time.
Okay,
and they
I
would
buy
make
that.
more
Sure.
money.
Yeah.
The difference between
What the
$100 and
normal-
$12.90, that goes to FIFA.
So FIFA's getting the money for the extra cost of transportation, and the Port Authority is
Getting volume.
They're not allowed to say no to it.
Basically.
Mikey Sherrill saying no, we're saying no to it.
Right.
So it's going to play out in courts. I even saw one story where FIFA might not so quietly be threatening to move the games out of MetLife and to send them down to Cowboy Stadium in Texas.
Well, they could do that.
I just read that this morning, that's like a veiled threat. But here's the other thing that's interesting. There's a guy named Andrew Giuliani, the former Mayor Giuliani's son, who's the White House World Cup Task Force EO, I guess executive officer, I guess that stands for. He said that the state of New Jersey a month ago, so while Mikey Sherrill was governor, was given a $10.4 million grant. And if you assume 30,000 fans parking at MetLife Stadium over 8 games, that's $40 per rider. So now they want to know, what'd you guys do with the grant we gave you? Because you're yelling and screaming that we're price gouging, but we gave you $10 million and change, and we'd like to know where that money went. So now it's getting ugly. And I'm not sure if there's an answer to that or not. Here's what I know, because I don't care about the politics of it. I don't care about what Giuliani said. I do care about my people having to get price gouged to go watch a soccer game at MetLife Stadium. We're not allowed to tailgate. You can't park unless you want to cough up $200 for the parking spot. The tickets are out of whack. Mass transit out of whack. I ain't going to see soccer if I can't park and tailgate and afford the ticket.
You know what people should probably do?
Yeah, stay at home and watch it at home.
Drive to Philly.
Drive to Philly?
Yeah, there's games in Philly.
Nobody wants to go to Philadelphia.
Yes, they do. And
I'd rather spend the $200 on parking than have to drive down to Philadelphia and hang out with your people.
That's not true.
Unless you're offering me free soft pretzels and Rita's water ice.
Well, of course you can. You
Let
have
me be
that
clear.
in the parking lot. It's not free, but it's discount.
So FIFA, Governor Hochul, whatever it is, Governor Sherrill, I'll pay the money if my only other choice is to go to Philadelphia.
No.
And that should be the marketing campaign.
No, you go to Philadelphia.
The marketing campaign should be
great.
this. Hey, when you consider it's only $100 and the alternative is go to Philly, watch how many people shut up.
No.
And start just laying out the hundo.
Yeah, Philly's sold out, but you can get secondary tickets. So go on your StubHub and head down to Philly to watch the game.
For $2,500?
Better building. Better built flat out.
What's a better building?
Lincoln Financial Field's a better building than MetLife. It absolutely is. Man, no one likes MetLife.
I gotta give you that. I gotta give you that. I can't argue that.
The better building.
I'd like to say it's not, but it is. It is a better building, and frankly, we've got to own that.
You do.
That being said, here's my money. Here's my money. I don't want to go to Philadelphia. Take my money.
It's team feels slow. It feels old. It feels uninteresting. It just kind of feels like a lot of guys who are quality ball players, some big contracts, but are just like lethargic when they're out there. Like Manny Machado moves in slow motion. So does Nick Castellanos. So does Xander Bogaerts. So do a lot of these players in this lineup. And I might be piling on a little bit too deep, but this was supposed to be a contender for a World Series.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You build teams in the second, third, and fourth round, right, Donnie? Yeah. That's where you build. That's where you get the depth. That's where you build the team. So teams looking for draft capital very much could be alive and well in this draft coming up because there's just nobody to mortgage the future for because you need your franchise guy. They're just not in this draft.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The fact that we are seeing now multiple states propose, not just prop bet bans, but getting rid of online sports betting altogether really shows kind of the pushback that the industry is facing right now and kind of the crisis it has to make sure in the public spotlight that it's being viewed accurately and that it's working with lawmakers on, common sense proposals.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Now, I see him 15th, 16th, somewhere in that ballpark, and I think that makes sense, Donnie. I don't see him in the top 10. I really don't. I mean, when you look at, let's say, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, you start going into that, teams like the Cowboys or the Vikings or the Chiefs, and, could they take a flyer?
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here, as always. We're hoping to connect with the Hughley family here in a moment or two. Their son Stockton, who's in 5th grade, plays recreational hoops out there in Utah and took the world by storm. Really took Lil Wayne by storm. And he called my attention to this kid's highlight tapes, and we just thought, let's make the kid a star today, because that's how good his highlight tape is. So once we can connect with them, we will. Quick breaking news story, though, in Major League Baseball. There's a private equity group owned by a husband and wife team. The husband's name is Jose Feliciano, not the blind guy that sang one of the great Christmas songs of all time.
We love that song.
Feliz Navidad, lo espero año y felicidad.
That's pretty good.
I think he died a while ago.
They should play that after every home run.
They should. So Jose Feliciano, again, not the blind singer, and his wife, who has one of the great names I've ever heard, Kwanzaa Jones. Now, some of you may know Kwanzaa Jones. She was a recording artist and had 3 or 4 top 25 hits. She's also a brilliant woman. Went to Princeton, went to Cardozo Law, went to Pepperdine for a second type of law school thing, whatever it was. They, in any event, I'm just fascinated by their story because they're self-made wealthy people, and I think it's great. They are buying the San Diego Padres for an absurd amount of money. When you consider the fact that 5 years ago, hedge fund magnate Steve Cohen, who's worth about $15 billion now, bought the New York Mets for $2.4 billion. That was a record at the time, most expensive franchise ever sold. Now, the Yankees are worth more. The Dodgers are now worth more, but they haven't been sold. So from an actual sales standpoint, the New York Mets had set the record, $2.4 billion. Jose Feliciano and his wife, Kwanzaa Jones, are buying the San Diego Padres for $3.9 billion. Wow. I'm trying to figure out, A, why, and B, why.
Now,
not just that they're buying the Padres, that's another why. But I know she's from LA, so they must have a home in San Diego or near San Diego, right? But why would you spend $3.9 billion? That's $1.5 billion more than what the Mets sold for.
Right. Well, there's been a change real fast to answer your question. Private equity plays by different rules. The Celtics sold at the time for $6.1 billion.
Right.
Private equity. Then the Lakers come back and sell for $10 billion.
I guess.
Everything's inflated right now.
Right.
It just is.
So are we good to go? Yay? No? Oh, all good, all good. Yeah, but the Celtics deal was a weird deal because it didn't include the building.
Didn't include the
They
building.
just bought the Celtics.
Right, but that's the weird
And the
part.
family that sold it was like, we just won we just won an NBA championship. Like, we can get out $7 billion. Mm-hmm. Yeah, done deal.
Done.
Like, the new guys, I don't know how they make that money back because they don't own the building. Meaning, if new kids on the block want to come appear at the Boston Garden,
They don't get a cut.
they ain't getting that money.
Right.
But why would you drop essentially $4 billion on the Padres?
My guess is they looked around, and this is the new private equity has changed things. There used to be a time where
That can't be a good investment.
well, I think it is.
You think so? That means they'll sell it one day.
Yeah, they'll sell it one day for twice that, if not
Man.
more.
And
if
look,
not
obviously,
more.
if you could buy something for $5 billion, you probably got 10 sitting in the bank somewhere. So I'm not worried about them, obviously.
Right.
But I'm just trying to figure out. It's not an LA team.
No.
San Diego's a smaller market, right?
It's a smaller market,
They
but
don't
it's
have any
California.
TV revenue coming in.
Not huge amounts now.
Okay. New York, of course, the biggest market of them all, sold for $2.4 billion. So I'm like, they're obviously a lot smarter than you and I are, especially from a financial standpoint. But you used the term yesterday, ROI, return on investment. That's an investment you don't get a return on. So I'm not sure if that's a vanity purchase or if they're just like ridiculous Padres fans, which I don't think, to be fair, anybody is. Like, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
And be honest. Have you ever met somebody that was a diehard Padre fan?
Okay.
I haven't.
Not outside of San Diego.
I've been to San Diego. I never met a diehard Padre fan. I'm good friends with a guy that played for the Padres. You do a podcast with him once a week.
Yeah.
And he doesn't love the Padres like that.
He doesn't love it.
Right?
He does not love it.
Like,
that
if you
much.
told me you love the San Diego Chargers, right, and you want to keep the Chargers in San Diego before they move to LA, all right, it's football. Junior Seau, Dan Fouts, I get all that. I've never met a Padre fan. And now they're dropping $5 billion.
I understand where you're coming
Maybe
from.
some people have too much money.
It's that, and this is almost a return to the old school. It used to be you bought a team, and it was almost a status symbol that you owned that team. Then for a while, owners started to treat it almost like a real business, even though it's a made-up landscape. Like, especially if they get a cap in baseball, it's a made-up landscape.
Sure.
Right now, it's kind of a real free market. It'd be a made-up landscape. Well, I think it's reverting back to, I have it, and when I go around with the elite of the elite,
I say I have it.
I own the Padres. Oh, what do you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I do this.
I own the Padres.
I own the Padres.
By the way, there's a status to it.
There's a status to owning a
Yeah.
team, and remember, there's only 30 of them.
Right. No, look, there's definitely a status to being a team owner in every sport. There's no doubt about that.
'Cause they're
And I think
elite of the elite.
amongst billionaires, it's like, hey, I've got a 400-foot yacht. Oh, yeah, I own the Dallas Cowboys.
Right. Oh,
I win.
Yeah, right.
Right? That
And
kind of thing?
I think there's a play in that, especially
Yeah.
when you get to that level of money.
Yeah.
You don't usually think like that. Like, you want a nice house, you want your family to be good, but I
Yeah.
don't remember you thinking like, you know what? I want that skyscraper.
Yeah.
You think
it's funny you
differently
say that
than
because
they
I remember when I lived in Denver and I was doing radio in Denver and I was making $62,500 a year. That's what my salary was in Denver. All right. And my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, moved out there. I remember we had one of these late nights and we're talking about the future and about money because I'm making 60 grand, right? Yeah. And I said to her, if I ever have $1 million, I'll stop working the next day.
See?
And she looked at me like, you might be the dumbest person I know.
Right.
I go, $1 million?
So much money.
I'm making 60 grand.
Right.
If I could ever have $1 million, I'm done. I win.
Right. You shut it down.
Because I could never contemplate $1 million.
Right.
Turns out she was right.
Right. She was right. And
Turns out she had more fiscal sense than I did.
And also, I don't think people realize sometimes how much $1 billion is. That's 1,000 million.
Well, let me give you a better example. I saw this on Joe Rogan the other day. How many seconds is $1 million? $1 million, or how many days is?
Oh yeah, it's a few days.
So 1 million seconds is 11 days.
Yeah.
All right. How many seconds or beyond that is 1 billion?
Isn't it like a year?
31 years.
Yeah, there you go.
So if you want to see the difference between 1 million and 1 billion, and I kind of scoffed at that comparison, but It's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
It's a big
So
difference.
imagine having $5 billion that you could just stroke a check with. What is that going to cost me? $5 billion? Okay, no problem. And how about the balls on whoever used to own the Padres? I don't. Maybe Ethan knows who the family was, or the dude who owned the Padres up until today.
And actually, I want to give that family credit. They're the first ones to spend money in that market.
Okay.
That market, they didn't spend money a long time.
They go after everybody.
They go after everybody. They got Machado when everybody wanted him.
Like they got Tatis Jr.
When everybody wanted him.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say got to him early.
Yeah. What's the family? Seidler?
Seidler.
Seidner? Okay, Seidner family. This just shows you. It's a great life lesson for those of you watching right now. Hopefully you guys will clip this and put this out there. Carton Tyrone Johnson, life lesson number 1. If you don't ask, you don't get. Because all they could have said was no. So when the Seidners said to Kwanzaa Jones and her husband, Jose Feliciano, well, you want to buy the Padres? I don't know. $5 billion? Never thinking that they were going to say 4.9. Right, you know what I'm saying?
Right, like the counter was
like the Mets sold for 2.4. So even with inflation, if you could have gotten $3 billion, that would have been a lot in my world.
Yeah, they ended up getting 3.9.
4.9.
3.9. 3.9, which is a lot of money.
Yeah. The
Much more.
Siders were like, I don't know, randomly, you want to buy it $4 billion? Okay. Yeah. Again, life lesson number 1, Carton Show, Tyrone Johnson. If you don't ask,
you don't get.
You don't get.
And I got to get better at that.
Go ahead.
There's tons of stuff I don't ask for.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot like that. I got to start asking.
Yeah.
They say no, so what? I didn't have it anyway.
Again, the worst thing someone could say to you is no.
Right.
And then, but like you said, you go on with your life.
Right.
I didn't have that to start with regardless.
Technical issues all worked out.
Good.
Big guests coming up.
The Hughleys are next right here on The Carton Show.
Team feels slow, it feels old, it feels uninteresting. It just kind of feels like a lot of guys who are quality ball players, some big contracts, but are just like lethargic when they're out there. Like Manny Machado moves in slow motion, so does Nick Castellanos, so does Xander Bogaerts, so do a lot of these players in this lineup. And I might be piling on a little bit too deep, but this was supposed to be a contender for a World Series.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid. You build teams in the second, third, and fourth round, right, Donnie? Yeah. That's where you build. That's where you get the depth. That's where you build the team. So teams looking for draft capital very much could be alive and well in this draft coming up because there's just nobody to mortgage the future for because you need your franchise guy. They're just not in this draft. The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The fact that we are seeing now multiple states propose, not just prop bet bans, but getting rid of online sports betting altogether really shows kind of the pushback that the industry is facing right now and kind of the crisis it has to make sure in the public spotlight that it's being viewed accurately and that it's working with lawmakers on, common sense proposals.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Now, I see him 15th, 16th, somewhere in that ballpark, and I think that makes sense, Donnie. I don't see him in the top 10. I really don't. I mean, when you look at, let's say, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, you start going into that, teams like the Cowboys or the Vikings or the Chiefs, and, could they take a flyer?
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back to the Craig Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as well. For those of you that aren't aware, Lil Wayne, the rapper, is one of my closest friends in the world. And Lil Wayne is one of the most golden-hearted guys I've ever met, and is always looking out for the little guy, and is always looking out for the next potential superstar. And he gives he'll give you the shirt off of his back. So the other day, he and I were texting. He said to me, I just discovered this crazy basketball phenom, just like, scrolling through Instagram. And he goes, I got to send it to you. We got to blow this kid up. It's crazy. I now have like an emotional and vested interest in seeing this kid do well. You see the videos right here? That's a fifth grade basketball player named Stockton Hughley. All right. And he's out there in Utah. And Lil Wayne had me watch this video. And he said, we gotta hook this kid up. We got to take a vested interest in this kid doing well. So Lil Wayne called him yesterday. And we're happy to have Stockton with his mom, Anna, and his dad, Tyler, on the phone with us right now. So good morning to the Hugleys. I appreciate you joining us. I know it's earlier for you than it is for us, but good to see you guys, and thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
So, Tyler, let me start with you. When did you, or Anna, when did you guys recognize that Stockton was maybe a little bit different than the other, 6, 7, 8-year-old kids playing basketball?
He's been different ever since he was born, ever since he could hold a basketball. We've been a big basketball family for, gosh, dang it. I mean, I played college basketball, so it runs in the family. We started a nonprofit in 2004 called Utah Pump and Run, which turned into Utah Basketball Club. And I coached for those programs, and that's when Stockton, my boy Hudson, and Trace, and the rest of our family would actually come and come to all those tournaments. So we knew at a very young age.
Stockton, do you like playing with kids in the fifth grade, or you prefer playing against kids older than you?
I like playing with kids older.
That's right. Said every great player. Anna, for you as a sports mom, how is it for you watching your son play, knowing that he's now getting all this extra attention? Like, you guys already knew that, he was special, not just as a young man or as a boy, but obviously athletically, he's a little different than the other kids. What's it like for you watching your son out there, knowing that there's a lot of eyeballs on him?
Dude, I eat it up. I love it. I am that crazy mom at the games. It's yelling, and I'm the one videoing everything, and it's so cool. I love it. My favorite is hearing the comments of the parents from the other team when they see him play for the first time. It's the best.
Yeah, one of the best things for me, I have 4 kids. They all played sports. I coached them, until they got to high school, et cetera, is, a lot of times you'll play a travel game, and there'll be a kid on the other team that's like 6, 7, and then, he's like 9 years old, and all the parents are like, check that kid's birth certificate. One of the great things about, I think, your guys' story and Stockton's story is that Stockton is like size appropriate for his age. Like, he's not Manute Bol walking into the gym. People like, come on now.
Got a beard already, right?
He's not 11 years old.
Right.
So I think that's part of the story, which is why Lil Wayne, I think, was so attracted to that mixtape you guys made. Stockton, as a basketball fan, who are your idols? Who are the guys that you try to pattern your game after when you watch them on TV?
Stephen Curry and Michael Jordan.
All right, well, you got to learn how to shoot like Steph Curry. That'd be a good thing.
Jordan, yeah.
And out in Utah, I say this respectfully, is it like predetermined that you're going to go to Utah or go to BYU, or is the sky the limit as his game progresses? Tyler, is it whatever the best fit for him is?
I think it's whatever the best fit is, for him. Wherever he wants to go, we'll help support him. Yeah, I think he can do whatever he wants to do.
He wants to go to Duke.
Duke would not be bad. Would not be bad. So, Stockton, let me ask you this: you've become a bit of a celebrity here in the last 48 hours. Are your buddies busting your chops? Are the other kids at school looking at you a little bit differently or talking to you differently? What's it been like for you the last 48 hours?
Yeah, there's been a lot of people coming up to me and all that.
And what was it like yesterday when one of the greatest rappers of all time, Lil Wayne, made a phone call to you to let you know how much he loves watching your skills on the basketball court? That must have been pretty cool.
Yeah, it felt really good.
And how about for you folks? Tyler, what was it? I'm not sure if you guys, obviously who Lil Wayne is, obviously, but when that phone call came in for you guys, what was that like for you guys?
Are you kidding me? The crazy thing is, I think I was probably the most excited out of all of us. I mean, I've been following Lil Wayne since 1999, and me and my wife even have a story that we probably can't say on air, but that involves just how much we followed Lil Wayne back in the past. But I've been on cloud 9 forever. I mean, meeting one of my favorite rappers in the entire world, that was really cool just to have a conversation.
It's one of the great things about Wayne. Like, he doesn't do it for show. He doesn't need the attention, obviously. He's taken an interest in my son, who's a singer, and it's real. And he never wavers in that. And the fact that he reached out to you, he does it all the time without fanfare. He means it. And I promise you, he's going to come to one of your games. He's going to try to be kind of like a guide as your fame grows, because he's lived it. He was like 13 years old when he became famous, so he knows what that life is like. And I think you've got a big fan for life, and that's the kind of guy Lil Wayne is. It's real, and it's not about him. It's about your skills, Stockton. And I saw the video. He's right. Now you got to put more work in, meaning your pops is going to have you in the gym at like 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. So you got to be ready to go to work now. You ready for that?
Well, that's the cool thing about Stockton. The kid's work ethic is unmatched. He lives in the gym and he wants to be there, right? He loves it. He truly loves it, and you can't teach that.
And how do you guys have other kids that play sports as well?
We do, yeah. Our oldest is a golfer and a baseball player. Hudson is just a couple years older than good old Stocky here, and he plays big-time basketball as well. He's not as small as Stockton, so he doesn't get as much, recognition. And then we've got 2 daughters. We have 5 kids, and our daughters dance. So.
Got it. I always say, look, I said it about, I have a son who played college football, Division III. He was a running back out in Iowa, and he was the younger brother. And I always say, when the older brothers, at some point, the little guy's going to catch you. Be ready for it. So, look, I just want to say this to you guys. In the world we currently live in, where there's so much negativity and people trying to bring each other down, the fact that, like, Lil Wayne reached out to me just because we're friends and we both love sports to show me what you're doing with your son and what Stockton is doing. It's just like, it's a good day. We're not talking about negativity. We're not bringing people down. So I wish you guys the best of luck. I'll be watching your career as well. And Stockton, keep doing what you're doing. And don't get too big-headed now. And we appreciate you guys' time and wish you the very best of luck. And we'll be watching along with you and Lil Wayne as well. And appreciate you coming on. Thank you very much.
We appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
There you go. The Hughley family out there in Utah. And it's awesome. Like, those are the families you root for. And I'm rooting for them 100% now. Quick break. We'll wrap it up after this.
This team feels slow. It feels old. It feels uninteresting. It just kind of feels like a lot of guys who are quality ball players, some big contracts, but are just like lethargic when they're out there. Like, Manny Machado moves in slow motion. So does Nick Castellanos. So does Xander Bogaerts. So do a lot of these players in this lineup. And I might be piling on a little bit too deep, but this was supposed to be a contender for a World Series.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
You build teams in the second, third, and fourth round, right, Donnie? Yeah. That's where you build. That's where you get the depth. That's where you build the team. So teams looking for draft capital very much could be alive and well in this draft coming up, because there's just nobody to mortgage the future for, because you need your franchise guy. They're just not in this draft.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
The fact that we are seeing now multiple states propose not just prop bet bans, but getting rid of online sports betting altogether really shows kind of the pushback that the industry is facing right now, and kind of the crisis it has to make sure in the public spotlight that it's being viewed accurately, and that it's working with lawmakers on common sense proposals.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Now, I see him 15th, 16th, somewhere in that ballpark, and I think that makes sense, Donnie. I don't see him in the top 10. I really don't. I mean, when you look at, let's say, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, you start going into that, teams like the Cowboys or the Vikings or the Chiefs, and, could they take a flyer?
Prediction Markets Edge, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back to the Carton Show. Tyrone Johnson here as well. When we do this, when every league gets to their playoffs, we give you who we think is going to be in the respective finals, Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference Finals, and then, of course, the two teams that get to the championship game and the winner. All right? We actually did it for March Madness just a couple weeks ago. Matter of fact, I had UConn, and Tyrone had Michigan. So we nailed that pretty well. Tyrone got the win. Tyrone will give you picks with the spread starting Monday, unless you have one I don't know about, which is all good by me. I'm just going to tell you who I think is going to get there, obviously, okay? So you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Go ahead.
We'll start in the We'll start in the East. I believe I have in the conference finals the Pistons versus the Knicks. I do have the Knicks getting there.
There you go.
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
In the West, I have it chalk. I have Thunder versus the Spurs.
It's hard to go against
in
that.
the West. It's just although I am a little bit worried about the Spurs in the second round due to their age, but that's what I go with. I have the finals. I have the Pistons facing the Thunder. And then the champion, a repeat champion.
So a little chalk, but hard not to go chalk in the West for sure.
In the West also, and that is the Thunder as the champion. I will say out loud, though, Denver to me, real shot. Celtics to me, even though I have them losing to the Sixers in the first round, real shot as well.
I agree. Yeah, I think the East is more wide open. I think I'll give it to you right now. So Tyrone's got the Thunder winning back-to-back NBA championships. Again, they are prohibitive favorites. You'd almost be foolish not to pick them. So all good in that regard. All right, let me go to mine. Eastern Conference Finals. All right. I've got, of course, the New York Knickerbockers. All right? And I've got the Cavaliers getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think it's wide open. I think it's Cleveland. I think it's Detroit. I think it's Boston. I think it's the Knicks. Any one of those four teams could beat anybody else in a 7-game series. I do believe that. In the West, look, so there's three teams I want to consider. You named all three of them. You can't take anyone other than the Thunder. They have to be one of the two teams in the Western Conference Finals. I'm going to go with an upset, though. I'm going to go Western Conference Finals. You can put it up there right now. The Thunder and the Denver Nuggets.
All right.
All right? The Spurs, obviously, the hot choice. And if you told me the Spurs are there, it's chalk. Again, I'll take the loss on that, no problem, okay?
There is a rule, though, throughout NBA history going back to the 50s, despite how much the league has changed. Men win, boys don't. Usually it takes a certain level of maturity. If you tell me the Spurs just aren't
Spurs
ready
are very young.
I could believe that, so I don't think that's a crazy pick at all.
All right, so and we'll see what Wemby's like in the playoffs. It'll be nice to see that. All right, so that's what I have in the finals, in their each respective conference finals. Your NBA finals, you've got, for the first time since a long time ago, the New York Knicks against the Thunder. Now, you picked the Thunder to win it all.
That's right.
I'm not picking the Thunder to win it all. For the first time since 1973, the New York Knickerbockers are NBA champions. Da 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 da. Canyon of Heroes. Parade, convertibles, hot chicks in Knick jerseys. The Knicks finally get over the hump and win an NBA title. And there's me, and there's Jalen Brunson. And wait a minute, who's the sad guy in front?
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's you, but I'm not quite sure.
That's me. That's unhappy me. I will say this.
Woo!
I'll go out on a limb right now. I haven't cut my hair in a long time.
Yes.
If the Knicks.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I'm not going to cut it bald.
I remember you before the dreads.
I am not going to cut it bald.
Go ahead.
But if the Knicks win the championship for the first time in years.
You're going to cut it?
I'm going to cut my hair.
But not bald.
Not bald.
You used to have a normal pre-dread.
Yeah, you used to.
I sent Tyrone a video. We were together on New Year's Eve, it's got to be 20 years ago at this point.
That was 2007.
Because your wife was your girlfriend at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, she's in the video as well. Yeah, she's like, what am I getting myself into? This is craziness right here in this driveway.
That was 2007.
Is that when that was?
New Year's going into 2008.
So 20 years ago.
You had a tent outside. You had a tent outside your house.
And there was only like 10 of us.
It was a fun party, though. Kids were running around. They're like doing wind sprints. Yeah, like running around. Yeah. And Lucky was little.
He was probably 2007. Yeah, he was 3.
This will say he was little. Running around.
Yeah. It is funny looking back on those videos. I caught Tyrone for a brief second with, at the time, his girlfriend, now his beautiful wife. So that's how long we've known each other, 20 some odd years. Real quick, people at Penn State, I only have a minute. People in Penn State are very angry. Why? Because James Franklin came out and said, people at Penn State, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have the exact quote right in front of me. He's saying basically people at Penn State should be grateful for what I built.
Always losing every big game. Look, we're now at the point where we lose every big game. I built that.
Yeah, he goes, O'Brien didn't build nothing. Joe Pott didn't build nothing. I built the Penn State football.
He didn't beat Miami. He didn't win a national title. It's me.
Oh, you guys are so happy to get rid of him. Virginia Tech's so upset that they got him. In any event, enjoy all the playoff basketball this weekend. If you want to hear Adam Silver, he's on my radio show today at 4:15. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday morning at 11 right here on SportsGrid and on YouTube at noon. It's the Craig Carton Show. Thank you for watching.